Gotta wait for these tubes to warm up. There it is. All right. So the weird thing about this, I mean, it looks great, but I think the gyroscope, you're only really modifying the rotation more than anything, and an iPhone can somewhat pick up on spatial position, like the geographic spatial location of the device. Because when I walked all the way out through from this room to, I mean, this house is big enough, I guess, to where walking from where I am now all the way through the kitchen to the playroom on this floor should have put me much closer to the Domino's building. So when I watched my live stream on a different phone to see where my position would translate, and it didn't translate very well. So also from walking from one side of the room to the other, that's almost enough to consider myself like halfway across the street. And in walking that distance, like let's say I reposition my camera. Let's turn my camera around. So rotation, nope, that needs to be 0. Let's try this. If I were to walk from here, okay, so let's put me position right here. If I were to walk to the wall, I should be in the street. So the positioning is not as accurate as the gyroscope. The gyroscope is fantastic. But this is a great way to maybe present a space. So I'm piloting this camera, which means let me set this up right here. And I'm going to choose where I want to go. Let's say this building. And then I can pick the camera up and move it however I want. Let's make sure our rotation is not rotation. I guess it is the rotation. I don't like that with this current setup. I cannot move through the building. Okay, so, but it does look nice. It feels good. If I had an iPad, which I'm sure there is one here somewhere, I think I could see on the screen of the iPad what's happening, the context, but the iPhone doesn't do that. Ow. I need to put some pads on this damn audio thing. Oh my gosh, my knees are taking a beating. Oh shit. Fudge. Okay, so let's reset this to 0. 0, 0. Rotation. Let me put it down like this, and I think... All right, there we go. So no matter what I do with this phone, my editor is completely intact. So I can just stop. You know, I can grab one of these, lock it, and press escape. Pick my camera up. We're back in business. And I can make changes to damn near anything. So, you know, obviously, a VR headset. I used to have a nice Valve Index VR headset tethered, and I sold it for my custody battle. But let me dock one of these as well. And then escape. You know, so I can make changes to basically anything. And we have a virtual, this is like virtual production. So at the very least, it would be very cool to be able to tether this to multiple iPads, but I have to figure that out. So again, let's move around the scene. And then set my position back. I guess rotation can be back set to 0. And then all I have to do is pick the camera up. And you've got, oh man, so like I'm thinking architecture, real estate. I want to take a look at a room. I can maybe set my phone or an iPad up to where it has buttons and bookmarked positions or rooms, and then I can position myself in a particular room and then have a look around. In real time. This is all real, you know, real time, obviously. I want to see though, if I go to settings, material quality, epic, and then I also want to change the scalability to cinematic, and let's see what the performance looks like while I'm also streaming to OBS. Now this isn't a huge scene. but we're talking reflections in real time. I could also, so let's keep live link docked to this details panel, and then I'll grab a third details panel. So window details, I have a third details panel, and in that details panel, let me move this down, and then we're gonna put lighting, ultra dynamic sky in that details panel. And from there, we should be able to manipulate clouds. And time of day. And what I want to do is link that to like a DMX controller, a MIDI controller, or something that where I can adjust those knobs in real time and say, hey, I want to see what it looks like at night. There's reflection. Oh, okay, there we go. Reflections are updated. But now we have a nighttime view. This is groundbreaking. This is crazy. I don't think anybody is really doing, there are big companies that are doing this kind of stuff, but this is ultimately what I wanted Memphis Metas to be, is a real-time immersive experience. But imagine this with a VR headset. Let's change that weather back. Or let's change the time of day. Let's try to make it kind of moody. I do believe the sun and sky are fairly accurately geo-referenced. But I will have to go and physically do a test. So I'd have to go, outside to, let's say if this was my origin, this building right here was my origin to the level, to the environment. I would have to go here at different points of the day, different times of the day. And then see exactly where the position of the sun is at those different points of the day, and then come into the engine and then reposition the sky relevant to whatever image or video reference I have to show the position from this origin. And that would help kind of position it for the entire environment, for the entire scene. I'm gonna click on simulate real quick. Let's pilot a different camera. So we're on VCam Actor. Let's go to VCam Actor 2. What did it say? No what found? And I don't know that I can make changes on the fly. So VCam Actor. That's locked. That's locked. Let me unlock this and see if we can activate this. Dude, I'm getting hella messages. Live link subject should be camera transform. So let's go VCam actor 2, VCam actor. And I guess this doesn't work in play. I don't know. But I want to be able to bring in the camera. So VCam actor. Component. Live link subject. Camera transform. Oh, that's where I messed it up. Maybe, I don't know. Camera component, camera transform. I mean, it's playing in real time, just not in the viewport. So if I go to viewport locker, can I lock this to viewport 1? Enabled. Let's see. VCam component is active, viewport 1. But it won't let me see that in play. Scalability, cinematic, perspective. We are using VCam actor, so if I leave out of it, perspective, VCam actor, it won't let me pilot it during play in editor. So Bluetooth access node, trying to read property, call function, get take recorder. I think it has to be playing, and maybe that's the difference. It's a VCam execute, blah blah blah. All right, so all of this VCam take viewer is, when you're playing, is going to show some different content. Okay, so VCam actor, let's reset this. And I want to be able to like keep it at that the entire time. So I can record a take if I wanted to. And this thing popped up for the first time. I've never seen this overlay, this HUD or this UI. But, you know, this UI is supposed to be on my phone screen so that I can actually tap and interact with those buttons. And I should be able to press buttons and, you know, take pictures and stuff, I think. But let me delete this overlay. And I wonder if that makes a difference if I got something. Actor defaults. I don't know. I don't know, man. Actor 2 is not connected to anything. VCam actor 1 is, but how do I disable this display? VCam pixel streaming provider. Let's just change this to remote output provider. Let's see if that makes a difference. Nope. Pixel streaming provider. I don't know. I don't know. Self camera transform enabled. Let's disable it real quick. Enable. Nope. Still gonna do the same thing. Input profile. Output provider is set to pixel streaming. Let's set it to remote real quick and see what it does. Nothing. Target viewport. Viewport 1 is active. Yeah, I don't know. So something, learning curves. There's a lot that I need to learn about all of this. And this is going on like 48 hours of just figuring stuff out. I think me pressing play and trying to simulate is what gave me this overlay. What's this pause button do? Nothing. So I can select VCam actor. And these are just settings for each camera, I think. I gotta figure out how to hide this. Would love to hear y'all's thoughts though. Is this, groundbreaking stuff that I think is groundbreaking. I've never seen anything like this in order to like have been inspired by this, but I'm figuring a lot of stuff out. Let's see, VCam actor. Let's VCam actor 2, record, VCam actor. I don't know why those are. That's really weird. Scene component. Visible. Camera component. VCam component enabled. Is active. Camera transform. VCam actor 2 is not set to anything. So let's link this one too. Where's VCam actor 2 at? VCam actor 2 component is active. Set to camera transform is enabled. It's visible. And let's go to self, enable, link subject, viewport 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, y'all, we just trying to learn what these tools do, how they work. Let's go to default viewport and then VCam actor 1. Oh, VCam actor 2 is right there, I think. Nope. That is technically myself. So game mode. Yeah, if I turn game mode off, I can hide that. So it makes me wonder if I simulate, I should still be able to view from this non-cinematic viewport and see like gameplay. So let's go cinematic. Let's go default. Let's go VCam actor. And then I think maybe this only works if I'm using the record version. Which means if I am using the capture component, with the intent to record, that it's going to create a timeline of sorts. Okay. It's good to know. Good to know. Well, there's that. I don't really know what else to mention or to talk about here, but if I set this up to only be visible in one viewport, this camera, I can pin that, and I always have a camera that I can use to then look around that scene as I'm making changes to my environment. So let's set the camera right there, and then let's go here and, you know, let's say grab a tree. Wait a minute, let me pin that camera. Okay, so still I can control this, then I can grab a tree and basically do anything with it. Oh my gosh, virtual production is crazy. Well, I don't think there's really much anything else that I wanted to showcase with this, but I've been working my butt off just trying to get to the point that I have an interesting showcase, because the augmented reality portion of Unreal Engine is very hard to implement. And to bring that into Memphis Metas, I'm going to have some serious professional help to do it. Look at that quality. Let me go back. To the view. Look at the quality. Where else can I go? Let's go somewhere else. All right, let's see what it looks like with some rain or something. So let's grab window details 4, and let's put that up here. Actually, real quick, I'm gonna go into modeling mode so that this pops up. And then let me go back into selection mode. Let's see if modeling mode stays. Yep, it does. Stays right there. Great. Just what I needed. Let's save this real quick. Let's close nearly everything. I want to open lighting and my ultra dynamic weather and lock it to this viewport. Let's keep this one unlocked, and then let's figure out what we want it to lock there. So let's grab all of these cameras and let's move them into the data folder. I think I have a cameras folder in there. Try to keep this project organized. Let's see. And let's make sure our camera is locked. So we got live link details. Let's go back into data and VCam actor, and I want to lock that down here. That way we can adjust our rotation 0, 0, 0, and then kind of pick up where we left off. Let's see, position. Let's say about right there. And let's change the weather. Those reflections are fantastic. This is, real time, basically real time ray tracing. I do need to reset my clouds. So let's turn off manual override. Let's set this to cloudy. Foggy. I want to turn myself around a little bit. Actually facing this window. I gotta have like a volumetric fog. If I want to keep the fog from coming indoors. Let's do overcast. Partly cloudy. What else we got? Rain. Light rain. I think I know snow is one. Rain, thunderstorm. I'm gonna turn my volume up. So you can real deal make movies in this. Sand dust storm. Dang. It's got to work on its volumes though, because it shouldn't be able to get inside of a, I guess these technically aren't closed meshes. Snow. Blizzard. Oh my lord. Light snow. Throw on some Christmas music here. And I think that's it. So let's go back to partly cloudy. And then let's reposition again. So really I could set myself up on, the bridge, but I haven't brought all those meshes into this project yet. I think one of the reasons that the handheld camera doesn't work is when you go into, well, it should in simulation, but when you go into gameplay mode, it automatically sets the viewport to the pawn, which loads as a character, as a third-person character. So what I gotta do is set this to locked orientation. Turn my camera around and set the rotation back to 0. There we go. And now I can, get my stretches in. So imagine putting on your VR headset, coming into Memphis Metaverse, and then just being wherever you want to be, and then just looking at the world, looking at the environment. Travel, go up into the sky even. So let's see what a bird's eye view looks like. Yeah. I think I need to readjust my rotation. Huh. Whoops. Let me move over there real quick. Very cool. All right, I think I've played with this enough. But this is my way of documenting the progress that I'm making. As I learn all these new things about this software, how to use it, my favorite thing to do is just create groundbreaking, like state-of-the-art things that people look at and say, wow, how in the fuck did you do that? But also I want to make it useful. I want to make it practical, and if you're any way involved in real estate, urban planning, city management, I'd imagine you can think of at least 20 different ways that this can be used in a practical manner. Very cool. Let me know your thoughts. How would you use this? Does this inspire you? If so, how does it inspire you? I have 100 ways that I could proposed this for use in different industries. But Memphis Meta is the metaverse, the game. I'm trying to find ways to bring immersion to the gameplay as well. So VR headset is kind of an obvious way to experience this environment once it's fully built. But what is it called? Virtual production for commercials, TV shows, movies. That's one of the ways that I want this project to be used, so that you can take this environment and make movies in it. People are already playing Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto and what's the other game they do a lot of talking and socializing on? Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, and Fortnite, and using that content for YouTube videos, but they're creating their own like shorts and movies and animations. So I want to collaborate with some 3D modelers, some animators, and some, filmmakers to use this Memphis environment to create something really cool. So be on the lookout for stuff like that once I get this environment finished. But I'm literally going one building at a time down one street, and I will jump back over to Bill Street in South Main once I'm satisfied with what these buildings look like. Minor details. I want to add a lot more detail to all the buildings, but I think this level of detail is more than enough, and it gets the point across, and it gives you enough immersion so that if you were to actually drive by, Slim and Huskies or any of these businesses, looking at this should be recognizable. But very cool. Ending the stream there.